I'm Colleen and welcome to my channel. I've never met a sparkle that I didn't like and a bully that I did, because being mean is not cool. Awesome people are not mean, so be kind all the time. So welcome to another episode of Friday Frights. In this episode I will be talking about the legend of the Snallygaster. I picked this because it made me laugh when I was looking up different legends and things like that, and I was like, what is a Snallygaster? I'm like, that kind of sounds like, I don't know, it just made me laugh. It just reminded me of something like that you'd see in a kid's story or something, but this is definitely not something you'd want in your child's story. It's a little interesting. So yeah, I was entertained learning about the Snallygaster. So without further ado, I am not going to keep rambling on, and I'm going to do my makeup, and we are going to get into the story of the Snallygaster. So the Snallygaster in American folklore is a bird reptile chimera originating in the superstitions of early German immigrants. The name Snallygaster is actually a mispronunciation, excuse me, of the term, now I'm going to totally butcher this, so mispronunciation all over the place, of the term Schnellgeister, which itself is a corruption of the German term Schnellgeist, which is a quick spirit. A quick spirit is described as being responsible for things like sudden drafts, knocking over lightweight household objects, or scattering papers. For many generations, the story of the Schnellgeist or the Snallygaster never changed. No one ever saw the Snallygaster, but you assumed it was there. One day I will have a way I can have my cue cards in front of me and not have to look to it. Eventually I'll get a better setup in here. I've been saying that for 2 years, and I'm I'm gonna reorganize my room and have a nice setup. No, it's always gonna be this cluttered corner mess. Yeah. So yeah, you'll always have my cluttered corner. Sorry. However, over the years, the stories began to become different as people told the story for hundreds of years of this beast that stole chickens and other small farm animals. It was generally viewed as a pest, and many farmers would paint symbols like a star with 7 points on their barns in hopes that this hex would ward off the Snallygaster. As more and more stories came out of the Snallygaster, other descriptions of the beast started coming out. Some people gave it a metallic-like beak lined with razor-sharp teeth, sometimes having octopus-like tentacles. The earliest stories claimed it drained the blood of all of its victims that it picked up. In the 1920s and 30s, sightings and sensationalized news reports really took off again of the Snallygaster, mainly in Frederick County, Maryland, later expanding to Central Maryland, Ohio, New Jersey, and Washington, D.C. These sightings and stories really began to terrorize the people in the area. So what did people actually see? Residents of Braddock Heights reported seeing the Snallygaster flying about 25 feet overhead. A man who operated a burning kiln in Cumberland spied on the Snallygaster apparently sleeping, and when it awoke, It emitted a blood-curdling scream and angrily flew away. In Casstown, Ohio, a man wrote to the Valley Register that a strange creature flew over his land, making terrible screeching noises, and he said it had 2 huge wings and a tail that was about 20 feet long. In New Jersey, people reported seeing the Snallygaster's footprints in the snow. In West Virginia, it was said that the flying beast almost caught a woman and carried her away, and one was also found roosting in a farmer's barn, apparently laying an egg the size of a barrel. During this time, newspapers really started reporting sensationalized stories and sightings of the Snallygaster. And it was really painting a very grim picture of the dangerous mountain regions of the area of Maryland. It was also decided that this current Snallygaster was an offspring of an egg that had been reported a generation prior. This story came from around a 1909 sighting, where one had been spotted flying over the mountains where it had laid a very large egg. Because of this, it was also decided that the lifespan of the Snallygaster must be approximately 20 years, as the current creature wasn't spotted again until these stories, which started in the 1920s. Sadly, the Snallygaster apparently met its fate in November of 1932, when a newspaper reported a shadowy photo of a dead creature accompanied by a questionable account of how it drowned in a vat of whiskey mash on a Baltimore County farm. And by suspicious coincidence, the report stated that the federal prohibition officers inadvertently blew up the still before the carcass could be examined. Because of all the bad press that had started getting, because people were starting to get really freaked out about the Snallygaster, there were suspicions that the media concocted this story of the death of the Snallygaster to calm people down. This off topic, but look how pretty this case from Copacetic Cosmetics is. It's their fairy quad. I'm going to use one of their little flakies for my inner corner. I think it should also be noted that the monster's resurgence in the early 20th century coincided with Prohibition, and it said that moonshiners in the forests and mountains of northern Maryland co-opted the old story in effort to scare revenue agents away and to explain the sounds like explosions and metal bending that came from their stills at night when they were brewing moonshine and other alcoholic beverages. And also about a year after the Snallygaster supposedly met his or her fate, prohibition ended and the creature has never been seen again. Not that I'm a supernatural naysayer, I'm just throwing that in there, just because it was in the story, so I figured I would throw it in. I love to believe in the supernatural, so, but I am just throwing it in there because that was in my research. So I just wanted to point that out, but that doesn't mean that the Snallygaster does not exist. So this is my finished look right here. So that is all I have for you on the Snallygaster. So what did you think of the story of the Snallygaster? Have you ever heard this story before? Are you from that area? Like, is it still a story that's like really talked about? Have people seen it? And I just like didn't find that in my research. I thought it was kind of interesting. I thought the name was funny. It just like made me laugh. It just reminded me of something that you like find as like a kid's monster or like something in like a kid's story, like a Snallygaster. I'm probably like not pronouncing that right. Like, no. But yeah, so I thought it was cool to share the story of that. I like sharing like different, like less known or more obscure like creepy stories on my Friday Frights anyway. But I do love a good like ghost story. And for Colleen's Creeptober, if things work out, I have some really good stuff coming up. I'm really excited. I'm hoping that my schedule allows it. Yeah, so anyway, my celestial cupcakes, that is it for this video. So if you like this video, please feel free to give it a like. If you really, really like this video, please feel free to subscribe. If you want to do neither one of those things, that is totally fine. I get it. I know I'm not one of the cool kids, but that's okay. I said thank you so much for stopping by and spending this minute with me. I really, really appreciate it. I also send you tons of happy thoughts and positive vibes your way just for stopping by. So thank you. As always, I will have everything that I am wearing on my face, as well as my Twitter and Instagram handles listed below. In case you'd like to follow me there, I post pictures of looks that I do not film, as well as pictures of my pets, because I think they are adorable. But of course, we are all biased when it comes to our fur babies, but oh well. So anyway, from one makeup lover to another, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And remember, be you, do you, love you. Bye!